Hi everyone! So for those of you that have been reading along with me this week, you'll know that I've been reading The Potion by R.G. EMANUELLE, which was an art copy that I received from Dirt Road Books. It is a sciencey fiction, historic, romantic sort of novel. It's all rolled into one, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it actually. I was up quite late last night trying to finish the last few chapters so I could do the video review today, and that was just because it was one of those stories that really pulls you in, and because of the mystery around it, the mystery surrounding it, you just have to know what happens, so you can't really put it down without sort of wanting to pick it straight back up to see what happened. So yeah, the story is about Vera Kennedy and Georgette Harris, who are both widowed to science professors who were working on their own potion, and they didn't realize their husbands were working with each other until Georgette needs to find a missing ingredient to be able to give it to a company that want to buy it from her, because she's in a bit of dire straits and she doesn't really have the money, and by selling her husband's work she believes that that will solve her problems and she can fix her house up and um, have a better life now that he's gone. So she goes to Vera with the hope that Vera will have the missing ingredient that she needs in her husband's work, and that they can work together to get the money. Unfortunately, Vera doesn't feel so openly about it. Where Georgette didn't really work with her husband and his work, Vera did work very closely with her husband and his work, and doesn't believe for one second that he was working with another person. So a lot of the beginning of this story is Georgette having to find proof that their husbands work together, and it's all the slow startings of a relationship forming between Vera and Georgette, because Vera is quite openly from the start introduced to you as a character who enjoys the company of other women. So it's a historic novel, which is very important because in those days, obviously, you didn't have female relationships. It just wasn't a thing. It didn't happen, and if it did happen, it happened behind closed doors. So that's why they were both married to obviously men scientists, and they get talking and they have several interactions and meets before you realise that Vera perhaps is a little bit more invested in this than she wants to be where Georgette's concerned, especially when she learns of Georgette's situation at home and how poor she is. So it slowly starts unfolding that their husbands did work together, and there's a little bit of proof of that. So they start digging a little deeper. But unfortunately for Vera, she finds it wasn't just the two of them working on this, and that there were other men involved. So all that mystery is wrapped up quite nicely in the story, and all the characters are brought in, and you learn a little bit more each chapter that it as the story starts to unfold and what they're all working towards. Vera is still trying to work towards a potion, and the book starts to lead you to believe that she's finishing her husband's work, but it actually becomes quite apparent towards the end that she's not. She's actually working on something of her own. I won't tell you what it is that she was working on because you'll have to read the book to find out, but I can tell you it's a very interesting concept, especially for the time period in which the book is set, that she would want to work on a formula, on a potion that would do such a thing. And it's true, it's very true. Her motives for wanting that potion and for wanting it to work, which she's actually been testing on herself, um, are very realistic motives for the time period, and I think very cleverly introduced into the book as well, by R.G. EMANUELLE. I haven't actually read anything by R.G. EMANUELLE before, and this was my first introduction to her. And I must say, it was, if this is how she writes her books, which are really interesting concepts, then I'm really excited to see what else comes from her. Not conventional at all, this book, in any way. The whole concept behind scientific laboratories and potions and immortality potions, which is what their husbands were working on, is just really fascinating concept. And the whole book and their building of their relationship is just done so well that it draws you into both characters. They're both likable. Vera is strong-willed, and you can tell that from her character, and Georgette is someone who you just want to take care of, which is what Vera finds. She just wants to take care of her in the end, which I think is really sweet. And together, you know, they can work together and perhaps find the answers that they needed. Unfortunately, as it starts unraveling and they do start discovering more, they start finding out a lot about each other and a lot about their husbands that they didn't know, which again is great because you don't see any of it coming. It's just the way it's unraveled to you throughout the development of the story is just fantastic. and definitely like leaves you guessing at every turn as well, which is always good with a book, because it means you're interested and you're intrigued, and it'll keep you focused on concentrating on the story and all the facts and trying to work it out for yourself as well, which I really like in a story. It's nothing better than trying to sit down and work it all out for yourself. So that is The Potion by R.G. Emmanuel. It came out on the 24th of April, so you can grab a copy, and I'll pop a link in the description so that you can go and check that out. But yeah, definitely go give it a go, even if you don't think it's your type of thing. It's a really interesting story, and I think your mind might be changed to science fiction and historic novels and bits like that. It's a fantastic read. If you've read it, let me know what you thought. If you are going to read it, or if you want to read it, again, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Check out the cover art as well, because it's a very vibrant cover and it's so pretty. It'll really attract you to it. It's a lovely, lovely cover, and I bet it looks spectacular in paperback, so I can't wait to grab a copy so that I can show it to you all as well. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you enjoyed it, or if you think you're going to give it a read or whatever. That'd be great. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.